Hello there, my name's David Hall, and for my sins I'm the publisher of Total Carp Fishing magazine and Advanced Carp Fishing magazine. I've come to the Larford fishery today in the heart of Worcestershire. It's a beautiful fishery and it's full of fish. But I've come here with a question in mind. To quote Dick Walker, why is it that 20% of the anglers catch 80% of the fish? Well, one such angler is Ritchie, known better to most of you as the Don. I've come to catch up with him. He's fishing along the bank. Let's go and see how he's getting on. Morning.
Morning, David.
How are you?
Nice to see you.
And you, and you. Isn't it lovely?
It's absolutely gorgeous this morning. We've got nice, the wind's just got up just before you got here about an hour ago. That's what we need, a little bit of wind.
A lot of fish topping as I walk round.
Yep, there is a lot of fish topping out there.
Tell me something, when you come to a fishery like this, which is a prolific fishery, a lot of carp and a lot of big carp, you're on the far bank. From an obvious point of view, you're away from the madding crowd. But what do you look for when you come to a place like this in terms of a swim? What made you pick this particular swim?
Well, a number of things. I spoke to the bailiff yesterday.
Local knowledge. And
you've got, local knowledge. You need someone that, if you can speak to people. I spoke to a few people yesterday who were fishing in the swim to my right, and they managed to catch a couple of fish. The other thing is, when I looked at the areas of the lake, yesterday there was a slight wind blowing down towards that end, but it wasn't nothing serious to push the fish up there to feed. Normally you'll have either end of the lake or the middle. I've chosen the middle because while I was watching yesterday from on the bank opposite, I saw quite a few fish put their little heads out there, and I just thought, looks like a good spot.
What's your approach been today? Have you fed the swim? What bait are you using?
Right, today I'm using mainline baits. I'm using the mainline boilies. I've got the pulse and the pineapple. Any bait, boilie wise, is from the mainline stable is, a good bait. Oh, got a little liner then. Oh,
I think it's a bit more than that.
Here we go. I think we're in. There we go. Yes, please. Number one.
Well, that didn't take very long, did it?
No, it's only been out there about 10 minutes, I suppose. It does help. We put quite a bit of feed out there. Oh, it's come off. Never mind. What I've tried to do is I'm trying to single out the bigger fish. So what I'm doing is I'm fishing two boilies on the hair. I'm sure another one will come along in a minute.
Let's just have a look at that and let's have a look at your setup while you...
Oh, I wonder what that was. Now, I'm going to show you now. Look at that. What I reckon's happened here, we've had another fish come through which was trailing a hook length.
So that wasn't
that wasn't a bite. No wonder it was a bit strange, because normally they fire off like a rocket in here, and I reckon what's happened, someone's had a hook length on there, and he's run across my line, or he's come round to eat the bait, and it's got caught up on it. Look at that.
So that's part of somebody else's rig?
Yeah, that was somebody else's rig. You can't emphasise enough on, rigs that discharge quickly. With this one, right, what we got a clip on there, which all of this can all fall to pieces. If a fish gets tethered or anything like that, it can discharge the lead. There's a little nipple on the side of there. And if I fish in weedy waters, where you want to get the fish to the surface as quickly as possible, when you've got a lead on, the fish will stay down deep, right, and it will catch on the weed. And what happens, if you only push it on slightly, you can discharge that lead, right, which automatically will force the fish to the surface. Right, well, I don't know what's gone on there. All we've got is the clip back. But that is definitely, I reckon, that there was a fish on the end of that. Maybe on this end, whether the lead was on that end, I don't know. But having that there coming off of the line like that,
yeah.
You know, that's a road trader, that one.
A foreign body. So let's have a look at what you've got here. So
right,
run that past me.
Run that past you. Right, what we've got is I've put on 2 boilies. Reason being, there's quite a few small carp like this, and to be quite honest, we don't want to catch them, we want to catch the bigger ones. And I've found that when I've fished here before, if you fish with a double bait on here, sometimes I put a treble bait on as well. It seems to get round the smaller fish.
Yeah.
Right, what I've done is, because on the lake it's nylon hook lengths only, there's no braided hook lengths, we've tied that. We call this a stiff rig.
Right.
Right, and what it is, you know, like a fish, if I said to you, what is the easiest thing for a carp to get rid of? Is it a square bait or a round bait?
I don't know the answer to that question.
Well, if you suck that in, if when a fish sucks that in, if you've got like just say one single round bait on the end, it will suck it in and it can go and blow it straight out. The reason you've got the stiff rig is it makes it really hard for it to eject it, right? Plus having 2 baits on as well, you know, it is difficult. And that's it, we've got a loop at one end just to give it a little bit of movement.
And what breaking strain is this?
That is 25 pound.
Right.
I know it's, some people will think that's, you know, on some lakes you go down fine, which you do. This is quite a cloudy lake. And also I'm using a fluorocarbon. When you put that in the water, that will disappear.
Yeah.
So we've got the loop, you know, that is really difficult. If you was to have, say for argument's sake, a 6 pound line on it, right, it would
be much more supple.
Yeah, and obviously it can eject it a little bit easier. And what I've done is a knotless knot. If you notice, these hooks that I'm using are, they've got an slightly inturned eye on them, so that when the fish picks it up, it works like a liner really, and it just spins it round. When you run that across your hand, it will just turn and go in every time. Because this is where you want to hook them. You don't want to hook them, you know, up here.
No.
You want to get them bang in the centre of the lip.
And what hook is that you're using?
This is a new one from Mava. This is one of our hooks, which is in our range. To be honest with you, the time that we're doing this, we haven't really put a name on it.
Right. So it's a prototype?
Yes, these are, you know, ones that I play around with. I like a long shank hook.
That didn't take very long, did it?
No, we just had that little episode on the other rod.
Is that a back lead you've got on there?
Yeah, that's a back lead. To put the back lead on, I'll tell you why. It's, number one, we've got swans bobbing up and down the margins, and I don't want them to take the line out. But one of the things that I do find when you fish here, when you get a fish into the margin, they normally go crazy, bonkers.
Is there a definite shelf?
Yeah, where it runs out from here. You know, there is definitely a drop-off there. What happens, as soon as they come along the edge, they try and take the other rods out. They know that if they come along the edges, they've got a good chance of slipping the hook or whatever.
And are you fishing the same baits on this rod as you were fishing on the first one?
Yeah, exactly the same. Exactly the same. You can't beat a bit of pineapple. I love a pineapple wanger. You got to use a pineapple wanger.
I don't know about you, but I've found in the summer, and I suppose we're coming to the end, well, we've come to the end of it, but I've had tremendous success with halibut.
Oh, halibut. Well, the thing is with halibut, it's very oily. And what happens is, you know, in the winter months, if you start pumping oil into them, it's, you know, it's like lard, if you like.
Yeah, they can't digest it
and
the same.
And the pellets don't discharge the oil like they should because the water temperatures
cold.
are so cold.
Yeah. But do you find that in the summer the fish meal based baits work well?
Oh yeah, they always will. Whoa, here he goes.
Yeah,
I think he's just found the shell.
I think you're right.
Come on, run him, tiger. Just a little scamp. Last night I had 4 up to 22 pounds. I had an incredible fish, and it just looked like it'd been in a paintball fight. It had orange dots all over it. Incredible fish.
Oh, it's not as big as I thought at first.
But that is
It's
just
a
a
nice
little.
fish, though.
It's straight. You know, wow! It's any fish. Can you see that? How he's blown the rig right the way up the line. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Come here, little fella.
There you go.
Notice this, look, I dropped the lead inside the net. If you leave it outside, sometimes when you go to lift the net up and the lead's outside, it'll hang the fish up the side, and of course it'll muck the fish up, and you don't want to do that. So if we just put in there, I'll go and get my net, me unhooking mat. We'll plop him down over here, and away we go. Right, put that down over here. Always try and stand it up. Don't leave it laying on the floor because you might jump on it. And there you go, there's the first little fella. That little one there. Cool, he's small, isn't he?
Well, you're 5,
you
6
put
pounds.
2 slices of bread round it and eat it. So we're slipping back and we get ready for the next one.
That was a good start.
Pleasant surprise.
2 bites in the first half an hour. That's not bad going, is it?
Ah, wait till he gets going.
Well, I've just seen a most extraordinary sight. 6 men trying to get in a 1-man bivvy. As you can see, it's been raining. Has it just? It's gone flat calm.
Yeah, I can see that. It's like mill pond.
It's amazing, isn't it? We had a nice ripple, a nice breeze, everything was going fine. Comes the rain, goes flat calm. We've not had a bite for 20 minutes. What's plan B?
Plan B is we got to get out there and get onto the top because it's gone flat calm. All the fish are on the surface. On this lake, being a match lake, they fish the bagging waggler a lot. So they're firing out pellet and they're taking them off of the top 3 foot of the water.
Now that's not your game, is it?
No. You know, like I do fish a rig called a Zig Rig.
Right.
All right, and you know, I think what we've got to do is we've got to try and put another rod out, I reckon, and have a little go.
There's a lot of bubbles over to our right, isn't there?
Yeah. Well, the thing is now they're on the top, they're having a little go. You can see them, look, there's rakes of them out there.
So tell me about the Zig Rig.
The Zig Rig, well, what it is, you use a nylon hook length, which is quite a light poundage, and what you do is, whatever depth the water is, say it's 11 foot, what you do is you set up a hook length anywhere between a foot below the surface down to 3 foot below the surface. You have to find out what level they're on. And what you do is you fish it on a running lead, but what we're going to do, which is a little bit different, normally when you fish a Zig Rig, when they're up in the middle layers, you put the rod out there and you don't feed over the top of it. But because of this old bagging waggler thing, what we're going to do, I'm going to stand there and I'm going to feed it. I've got to feed it all the time to keep them fish going through it.
I think this is something that a lot of inexperienced anglers don't understand, and that is when the fish are up in the water, as soon as that bait goes by them, It's as good as dead, isn't it?
Oh yeah, oh my
Whoops.
God, we're away. Hey, look at that.
Here we go, my son.
Yeah, oh, look, that's one off the bottom. Well, you can't beat that.
This really is a lovely time of year, isn't it?
Oh, it's wonderful.
This feels a reasonable
It's
fish.
small to medium, I reckon. When you're playing a fish and you do what I've just done, you crouch down, it all seems to go out of control. I know match anglers sit on their boxes all the time, don't they?
Yeah.
And very rare they get up off of them when they're playing a fish. But, go on. He's having a go, isn't he?
Yeah.
You wouldn't believe he's that big, would you? I think what it is, when you get a lot of these match waters, what happens, you end up with, because they're fishing with really fine lines, the old fish, it's like they've been down the gym, they have a workout because they take a lot, and they're very, very fit fish. Because it takes a long while to, you know, for the match anglers to play them in. What doesn't help is blowing the lead up, look. He's blowing the lead up above the leader. Yeah, get in there.
Well done, my son.
Let's have a quick one at the camera and we'll slip him straight back.
That's a nice looking fish, isn't it?
There you go, it's all nice and intact. Its old mouth's in good condition. Look at that. That'll do, not a monster, but it's a fish. Let's slip him back, take him back in the net. You don't want to drop him, and what we do, we plop him in over here, and away he goes. Go on.
Nice one.
Oh, hey, here we go again. Come on.
I don't think you're ever destined to fish this Zig Rig, you know.
Well, the way it's going now.
That came from nowhere, didn't it?
Yeah. Well, I'd only just cast it out. Look, I've been shuffling all the gear around to get the Zig Rig in there. Well, that'll do. In you go. Thank you very much, sweet, lovely. Cheers. Only a little one, but that'll do.
The last one you had was about £8.
Yeah.
Nice fish.
Well, this one, I think you'd use that for a live bait.
Little mirror.
Yeah, little mirror. Tiny little mirror, look at that.
And was that on two boilies?
No, that was on a single one. This is what I said about the two boilies. Yeah. Right, there's my little chappie. Woohoo! Don't go in, look at that little fella. Go on, see you later. Tell your mum I want to catch you. Bye-bye.
Well, it seems to have calmed down again and given Derek enough time to set up his Zig Rig rod, which I'm fascinated to find out about. Derek, show us what you've got. This is the Zig Rig.
This is the Zig Rig. Right, what you've got is a small hook with, and what I've done is I've cut the pop-up down so it looks, you know, it's more like a pellet.
So this is the pineapple that we've been using? Yeah, this is the
pineapple one. The reason I've put that on, you know, we can try a few things out. We can try different, you know, I've got darker coloured pop-ups that we can put in there. And the thing is, it's, I've put a yellow one on so that visually they might be able to see it a little bit better.
So you're going to fish this, what, about 9 foot off the bottom?
About 9 foot off the bottom.
In what, 11 foot of water?
Yeah, it's 11 and a half foot of water. Yeah. As you can see, it's quite a long hook length, you know, like right up here at the top end. And what we've got is we've got a small lead, not, you know, a big lead. You want sort of an ounce and a half.
That's pretty straightforward, isn't it?
Well,
nothing complicated about that.
Straightforward. The more complicated you make it, the more things can go wrong.
Right.
And then what we're going to do is we'll put that. We've got all this put together, and I'm going to do it a little bit different, as I said earlier. What I said was normally you put a Zig Rig out and just leave it out there, but because of this bagging wrangler method where they fire the pellet, I've put a little mix together out of all these baits, as you can see. What I've done is I've got some mainline pineapple proactive pellets. Right, they're a little bit slower breakdown, but it's, you know, it's just all different bits and pieces.
And these are sweet pineapples, so it's complementing the hook bait.
That's right. And what we've got here, in this one, you know, like we've got the tuna.
I was talking to you about these earlier. The fish in my pond absolutely love them.
Oh, no, they go crazy
love
for them. And on this one, we've got the milky coconut. And what I've done as well is put a little bit of ground bait in there. This one is an activated fish mix. I know normally you'd wet it up and everything else, but for our spotting reasons, it just if I can put a little cloud over it. And by the way, you've got a load of it on your hooker. Come on.
And you've got one?
Yeah, he's there.
Nice fish?
That's a barbie.
Is it? But that method that you're fishing there is so unbelievably simple, isn't it?
Oh yeah, just a bit of paste, a bit of hook, and that's it.
Nothing, no, an old hair rig, nothing, just some paste on a hook, just chucked down the side.
Thing is, we had to take this one a little bit easy because that's a bit lighter, that old line that we got on there. The hook length was probably
But I think if it doesn't...
£10, something like that. Here we go.
I think what it proves though, Derek, is you've got to keep working, haven't you? You've got to keep trying new
you
things.
can't keep still, can you? And there you go. Come on.
So we've put all that bait out there, and we've sat behind your rods.
Yeah.
Did it all right. Nothing.
And we just had
for the
a
best
little
part of an
play.
hour. And then you do no more than tie a bit of monofilament and a hook on your line, a bit of paste, and first put in under the tree, 3 foot from the bank.
Yep.
That, as they say, is fishing.
Oh yes. It's been difficult because this old weather and everything else.
Well, I think the fact that after that rain, it just went flat calm. There was a little flurry there, wasn't there? And then nothing, and then...
I think that was a bit over excessive. We didn't net about that.
Yeah, well, there you go. I've enjoyed this session with Derek. There's no question he's a character. But what's come out of this for me is that if you want to just pitch up and chuck out, then there's a reasonable chance on this type of fishery that you will catch some fish. But Derek's called upon all his experience. He's tried different things. Some things have worked, some things have not worked. The weather's been extremely changeable. For the most part, very, very mild. We had a very severe downpour. And as I say, it was just a little humorous watching 6 blokes trying to get in a one-man bivvy. But it's about versatility. Derek's persevered, he's tried things, and at the end of the day, he's had a good session. I think you'd all agree. I hope you've enjoyed the programme, and I hope we'll catch up with you again sometime. Bye for now.